everyone, I'm just here in my bedroom, and as I'm sure most of you are doing after Christmas, you start doing this major cleanup. So I have been cleaning up just about every closet and cupboard in my house, and I'm really trying to declutter and reuse and repurpose things because I believe we all just have too much. And one thing I had way too many of, my husband and I, were t-shirts. We just picked them up. Like this was from Morehouse College. My son went there, and I did save one that said, "Proud Morehouse Mom," and I kept that as a keepsake. But he was on the track team, and we have so many of his track t-shirts that are just, we're not wearing them. So I'm going to show you how you can turn a t-shirt like this into balls of yarn, like all of these. It's hard to see the black ones here. And then I'm going to turn all of this yarn into a scatter rug to sit in front of my kitchen sink. It's just going to be like crazy, mismatched, random, whatever colors, because most of them are white, but there's the odd blue and orange depending on the colors of the shirt, and the black. So when I first did this, sorry I'm shaking the phone, when I first attempted to make my yarn, I would cut the t-shirt up and methodically cut little strips round and around and around, and it took forever. So I want to show you guys a quick way that I saw on the internet, and it is just so slick. I'll just show you. So first you're going to take your t-shirt. Now this one is an extra large. My son is really tall, 6'4", and he was a high jumper. So this one's a extra big one, but it gives you lots of yarn. So what you're going to do is cut from armpit all the way over to the other armpit. So we're going to get that cut right now. I'm left with a piece that looks like a little pop top. Now, a lot of these t-shirts I've used, the reason I'm saving them is because they were either shirts where I was in a musical, or they're just shirts that the logo or something really means a lot. So rather to make even less waste, I'm making a quilt from those pieces. So if you can see here, there'll probably be 8 by 8 inch quilts, so I can still use this M, and that's going to be salvage for the quilt. So there'll be very, very little waste on this shirt. So the part that we cut is over here. I'm doing this on my dresser using an iPhone. So what you're next going to trim off is this little seam at the bottom of all t-shirts. This one right there. So you cut that all the way off. So what we're left with is basically a tube with no seams on the top or the bottom, and then the side. This one does not have a side seam in the t-shirt, although if it did, you could still, I used a lot of them that way and it didn't make any difference. So what you're going to do is take one side seam, fold it all the way over to the other side, so you can see it a little bit better, and leave about 1 inch from this side seam, okay? So you see you've got your side folded seam, there's a fold there. Then I'm going to turn this around just for viewing's sake. So we've got our folded sides together with 1 inch just on one of them, okay? Then you are going to take your scissors and cut all the way through right up to about there, not cutting through that 1 inch, all the way up. So I'll do a couple and then I'll be right back. So it's going to look like this. So can you see I've cut all the way up through this, but not cutting all the way through that in. So continue doing that until your whole piece is cut. Now I just want to make a note. If you have super strong hands and super strong scissors, you could have folded your piece up again in half again, leaving that 1 inch margin, and cut it up that way. But I'm going to leave mine down like this because I've cut so many that my hand is starting to get sore from cutting. So I'll be right back when I have this all cut. So you should have something that looks like this. So everything's been cut through to here, but not through that middle fold, okay? That's the most important, and I think that's the trick to making this yarn easier. So what we're attempting to do is have one continuous ball of yarn. So now you're going to take this and open it up at that fold there. See? Okay, I opened it up. So this was the line that was folded up at the top, that 1 inch. So I opened it up as best I could. You're not going to be able to open it all the way because remember, it's still in a tube. So the first cut you're going to make is on the left-hand side of this little seam. You're just going to cut right across there. And let me just grab my scissors. So you're just going to cut like this. Just that first one. There. Hope I cut it all the way through. Yeah. So then you're just going to pull it, pull it, pull it. And again, I am doing this with one hand, so it'll be easier for you. And it's going to come out at the top here, right back to our little folds. Got to find my place. Right here. So that's where I cut. If you can see that, that's where I cut. Right there. Here's the piece that I cut. And then the next one is you're going to, what you're doing is always going from this to there, almost on an angle. And it almost looks like you can't even tell that it's an angle. It'll look like you're just cutting straight across. But once you do that first cut, then it's easy after that. So then you cut that. And of course, again, I'd be cutting much neater if I had two hands here. So I'm just going to pull that all the way around. And so on and so on. So I'm going to get most of that cut. I'm going to come right back to that fold right here. Even though this is a big mess, I can still see where it is. You see? I'm going to cut from there to there. And continue to do that, and it should all stay in one continuous line. Like, look, this is all one piece. So I'm going to continue to do that till I get to the very last cut. So here we are with a whole pile of t-shirt and just one last cut to cut here. So what you're going to do is cut right across there. So this becomes an extension, and this just makes it longer. So I'll lay it here and do that for you. So we will just cut right there. So this is our one big, huge, long t-shirt, just like that. See, isn't that awesome? Now, I thought this was it, and all you did from this point was knit. But no, no, no. So you find that end. Where's our end? Right here. And I'm sorry it's so close. And you're just going to pull it as tight as you can. And once you've pulled it, it coils up like cord or yarn as opposed to this. So there you have your t-shirt yarn made from a t-shirt. It's very easy, very simple, so much less complicated than the way I was doing them. And you can just get so many of these done so fast. The only thing that stops me is my hand gets sore from the snipping, but maybe you can get somebody to help you do that. And then what I'm going to do, so you can see how when I was pulling it, when you pull stretch knits, they just coil up on themselves. So I'm just rolling it up into a ball here until I get it all looking like all of these here. So I've got a pile here yet of t-shirt to make some more yarn. So I'm going to end up with quite a few balls of yarn. And then over on the side, I've got all the fronts of the t-shirt that I want to turn into a throw, which is going to be super easy. Just sew them together, put a backing on it, and I'll show you how I do that in another video. I just think this is yet another way to, first of all, reduce the clutter in your closets, reuse and recycle. I mean, talk about, we're going to be reusing it. We're going to turn these into refurbishing them. This is going to be a carpet. The front's going to be a throw. And there's very, very, very little that's going into the recycling bin.
The magic of video. Here is my area rug or throw rug that I knit. I used very, very large needles. I just knit in straight garter stitch. Each stripe represents one t-shirt, so you can tell some were bigger than the others, some were thicker than the others, but it just adds interest to your little rug. And on the ends here, I just took the extra t-shirt yarn and just poked it through, tied a knot, and snipped it off just to make my tassels there. So there you have it. So I hope you guys all give this a try, and it's very basic knitting. There's no purling, it's just straight knitting. I just kept adding on another ball when I knit the next row, and there's lots of great videos on how to knit. So this would be an excellent beginner project for sure. And it's a wonderful way for all of us to reduce our footprint by leaving less and less garbage. Even recycling, there's so little left of these t-shirts. Once I finish that throw, which I haven't even started yet, there's hardly any. There's like the collar, and that's about it that's left in the back, the upper back of the t-shirt. So it's really wonderful to try to reduce your footprint on the world. So if you have any questions at all, please leave them in the down bar, and I'd be happy to help you with it. So have fun, and thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.